Many of you know that I'm a Christian. Some would say I'm religious. But what I would say is that I have a personal relationship with God. And today, I'm going to share with you one of the biggest miracles that ever happened to me that solidified my faith. So, when I was in college, the church that I was attending at the time, there was a young lady who had brought together the young adults. And she would have us come and we would go after church service on Sundays and pray. And I don't know, this must have gone on for a few months or something like that, maybe a year or so. But on one of those occasions, I had something really cool happen to me. Basically, it goes like this. We're standing around in kind of a semicircle in front of like the stage at church, and the young lady who I told you had organized us was at the pulpit. All these details are important. So she's standing at the pulpit, right? And we're all just praying. I don't know how long we had been praying, but I was praying and I was praying in the spirit. Had my eyes closed, but I wasn't all the way focused. So I was an athlete at the time, so I was leaning back, rocking back and forth, seeing how strong my tibias were. Like, how far can a person lean back that their tibias will catch them? Okay, so I'm leaning back and I'm praying in the spirit, got my eyes closed. And then, like, something crazy happened. So I was leaning back, and then I felt a force push me forward. And then it pushed me so far forward, and it kept on pushing me forward. Like I thought God was just like, stand up, stop playing, right? But then it kept on going. And then I had to catch myself. So I put one of my feet in front of the other in front so that I could stop going forward so I didn't fall on my face. And then I stood back up. But I kept on praying. I didn't that was really cool, really odd, but I didn't. But let me tell you something about this. Okay, so the force, when I say a force, it was from the top of my back all the way to the bottom of my back. Like the whole back, it was all the way even everywhere on my back. And the reason I mention that is because when you see like on TV where angels are touching people or angels are doing things or God does anything, it seems like a single point of contact similar to what a person would do. Like if it was a human, you would feel two hands the size of a human hand at least, or even big hands. Even if it was Shaq or the person with the largest hands, right, they still wouldn't be able to cover up my whole back and have even distributed pressure all throughout. So anyways, so I keep on praying, and I don't know if I'm probably stopped rocking back with my tibias, definitely caught my attention, right? But then, like after I had moved my foot back, then I felt a similar force grab me around my ankle. So the way that I can describe it is like, again, if it were a hand, you would feel the pressures of your hands, right? So my hands are ashy, but you would feel the pressures of the 5 fingers, right? 4 fingers in the front, thumb in the back on your foot. But what happened was it was like a force evenly distributed around my ankle, pretty much from the bottom of my ankle to the top of my ankle, maybe right where, my calf muscle starts. Take my leg, and then move it forward once. And I was like, what is that? So I put that mug right back. I didn't know what was going on. Like, I remember I still remember praying, but like just kind of being like a little, I don't know if freaked out is the word, but like it's kind of exciting. It's a little exciting. It's a little interesting, right? Intrigued as well. But I'm like, what in the world is that? So I put my foot back, and then it took my other foot. It slid my other foot forward, and before I could get that one back into place, it slid the other foot forward. So then The next thing you know, I'm moving forward towards the middle of this circle of people, scared that I'm going to be like, God's going to have me confess all my sins or have me out in the middle of the floor crying, embarrassing myself. So I'm resisting what I know is God moving my feet across the floor, making me walk. Now, you probably think to yourself, God wouldn't make you do something that you wouldn't want to do, which is normally the case, except I kind of had asked for it. I probably should have mentioned earlier on in this video that before all this happened, for about a year or two, I had been asking God to show himself real to me. So, I'm in college, right? And I was at a secular university. So you hear a lot of different points of view, right? That are contrary to the Christian point of view. At the end of the day, I'm like, God, I don't like having this doubt. I want to believe in you. I want to know that it's you. But also, I see in the Bible and in other people that they have these supernatural experiences. I've seen, you see in the Bible where people are getting healed and, the blind eyes are getting open and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I want one of those experiences with you, God. So I would pray to him every now and then. I would say, Lord, show yourself real to me. But I also had this caveat, and I said, if you decide not to, if for some reason or another you just don't want to do that, then I will still choose to believe in you. I still choose to believe. I'm going to try my best. I just don't like having doubt. And I also would pray frequently, Lord, do with me whatever you want. Do with me what you will. But I didn't expect him to do that, so I was kind of scared. And that's the kind of crazy thing. And we can talk about that later, but let me continue my story. So moving my feet across the floor. I'm not moving my feet, God's moving my feet. And as a matter of fact, I'm kind of laughing, still resisting, walking all awkward, but I was closing my eyes so that I wasn't guiding where I was going, right? So I intentionally closed my eyes so that God could move me where he wanted to, even as I was still kind of resistant, literally trying not to move my feet. But God moved them one at a time, literally. It was so crazy. So I get to the middle and I didn't stop. And I was like, whew, thank goodness. Maybe he just wants me to get into the front and say something. Because I was moving towards the front, because where I was kind of in front of the pulpit, but I was moving towards it, and then I kept on going again. So I was like, okay, God, you don't want me to say anything to these people. Might as well just close my eyes. I kept on peeking. I was trying to peek every now and again, what's going on, So I'm walking and I'm trying to close my eyes. I think eventually I get a little more comfortable having my eyes closed while God is moving my feet one at a time. Still, I can't lie to you. I was kind of resistant, because I was scared. I just didn't know what God was gonna do. So then it stopped. I opened my eyes up, and I was only in front of one of my friends, just one. And then I'm still praying, right? Because I don't know what God wants me to do, but I'm praying in the spirit because I don't know what to pray. Then the next thing you know, God lifts my hand up, places it on her shoulder. Then I was just like, Lord, what do you want? I kind of knew that I kind of heard a whisper, and it was kind of pray for her. So I did the best that I could of trying to hear what God had to say and just regurgitating what he was leading me to say as I'm praying for this person. I don't remember what exactly I said at all. Like, honestly, at all. I don't remember anything that I said, to be honest with you. I just remember being so weirded out, excited that God had just done that, you know? In hindsight, I feel a little foolish for resisting because truthfully, God has shown himself to be trustworthy. Instead of me going through a lot of charismatic exercises, God was more interested in me caring for my fellow believer, my fellow man. But the reason that I'm sharing this is not just for you to understand the lessons that I learned, but also to show you that God is real. And he's here for you. Like, legitimately, Jesus died on the cross for you. If you might not realize this, but John 3:16 says, "For God, the Father's whom we were talking about, so loved the world," that's you. Whether you believe it or not, he died for you, that whoever might believe in him, whoever believes, that's the criteria, shall not perish, but have everlasting life. So, like, I'm trying to give you, like, my purpose is to give you an opportunity to believe, to accept a gift that's already been laid out for you, to accept a relationship with someone who really loves you and who really wants you. I know that, like, Christians are, as a whole, we're a pain, right? We're probably, sadly, we're probably the worst part about Christianity, right? The Christians. But that's not what our faith is about. Our faith isn't about us. The faith is about God himself. It's about the individual having a relationship with the Father. Like, that's number one. So don't let Christians get in the way of you and the Christ. Take a chance. Make a choice to believe, number one, that God exists, that he's real, and that he loves you. And number two, believe that he sent his son Jesus to earth for your sake, that he might have a relationship with you. I'm Joron Willz. And what I just shared with you really happened, for real.